Do you have favorite go-to items for organizing your supplies or teaching your students? Today, I'd like to share a few of mine.
I was all alone, but then you came along.
Hi, I'm Erin Berry, author of Yes You Can Homeschool, the Terrified Parent's Companion to Homeschool Success, and creator of the online equipping course, Yes You Can Homeschool. In brief, I'm a 22-year veteran homeschooling parent, a keynote speaker, and educational consultant. And you can learn more about my background on my video bio or at thehomeeducatedmind.com. And of course, if you like today's video, please give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends. Today we're going to talk about 3 items I really like: the crate, the whiteboard, and index cards. So let's get started. The crate. Have you ever struggled with keeping track of all your children's supplies, their books, their pens, their everything? I have. And the solution I've found most helpful is the crate. This crate is just a simple crate that I got at Walmart. I think you can get them on wheels as well. I've seen them at Staples. But what I love about the crate is that, to me, it's neater than a backpack. You know, in a backpack, the kids are fishing through all looking for things and papers get scrunched and lost. But in a crate, it's much more organized. You can even hang files. So if they have papers due or worksheets that we're working on and you need to get to them quickly, this is a great way to do it. But look, here's a problem. You might get your sweater caught. But these files are wonderful. Another thing, you can stack their binders in here. You can put their books in here. Everything you need. And what I love too is you can just look right in and there everything is. So it's not this fishing need. It's like, oh, there are my pens. Oh, there's my book. Another thing I like about the crate is it's really good to transport. So if you're going in the car, if you're like us, we did a lot of what I call homeschool in the car. The crate goes beautifully. You can just carry it with you. Everything they need is right there. And I found my older students, what they liked about it, it was almost a little bit like a locker, right? It was like a special organized place just for them. And then finally, at the end of the day, easy cleanup, right? I would just say to the kids, grab your stuff, get it in your crate, put your crate in your room. And I don't know if your husband was like this, but mine appreciated if the school supplies were put away. And so a crate was a great way to do it. So that's number 1. Now I will say it can be a little bulky, but I feel like the bulk is worth it. So that's my number 1 favorite item for homeschooling, the crate. Now, number 2, the whiteboard. I love whiteboards. First of all, I like that they're erasable and that you can use them over and over. So it just helps so you don't have to have tons and tons of paper. The other thing about a whiteboard that is fun is that you have all these dry erase markers, and so it's very colorful. And even my young students, obviously they loved using the different colors, but my older students, believe it or not, they like the different colors too. And then particularly when you're teaching phonics, for example, you can break up your words. So I'm just going to put a very simple word here to show you, but I figure you can figure this out on your own. But if you were teaching, ig, and then the beginning sound, pig, and so you could do p-ig, pig. It's just helpful with the different colors to identify the different parts of speech or different letters. Obviously, you could erase the P and do B for big. But, a whiteboard is just so easy and, like I said, colorful. And then, for doing vocabulary, just as I demonstrated, that's great. Questions and answers. It's kind of fun to say, okay, write down 3 words that rhyme with this. And so your student has their whiteboard, they write them down quickly. It can be a game amongst your kids. And that's another thing that's so fun, is having a game. And then also, I use this for working out math problems. Now I used it with my own students, but I use it now when I tutor all the time. And again, with my higher level students, even up to pre-calculus. And I'll tell you why. Because 2 things. I work on a whiteboard I do the problem, and I have my student do the problem. But then as I'm watching them do the problem, I can see their mistake, and it's easy to erase and fix it, or it's easy to show them mine and compare. But I just find these so handy and valuable. So that is my number 2 item, is the whiteboard and dry erasers. Okay, now number 3. This one is not as pretty or as fancy and very inexpensive, but number 3 is index cards. Yes, I love these. I buy them by the mounds, specifically at the beginning of the year when they have those sales. Like, I just buy millions of them because they're so good for organizing information. I'll use them again for vocabulary. If you're learning, let's say, definitions for science, I'll put the word on the front and then the definition on the back, and we'll lay them down and just review our vocabulary that way. It's excellent. I think I have here, oh yes, you can see, I'm not kidding when I say I use these. And sometimes I'll cut them like smaller in half like this, and they've got the word on the front and the definition on the back. And all you need are the note cards, hole puncher, and these rings. You can find these rings different sizes at an office supply. But yeah, so definitions are good. Another thing that we've used them for is questions and answers. If I just want my students to study a topic, then I'll put the question on one side, the answer on the other. When my son Brooks was doing biology, and believe it or not, I think he was he was 10th, so what's that, sophomore? He would practice driving. We would drive around the neighborhood. I would use these, and we would review vocabulary for biology and different things that he needed to know. And then when Piers was doing a play, often we would put parts of his script on these cards, and that's how I would help him practice, or he would practice. They are just so handy. And then, you know what I love is, like this, you can easily drop into your purse or a bag and carry it with you. So if you are at a doctor's office appointment or something and waiting, you've got time to review. I've even done this in the car, just hand the kids these and say, okay, review with each other. But it's just so helpful to organize information. And the final thing is, with your older students, or I suppose even in middle school as well, if you are doing a research paper, it is great if you find a quote or information while they're reading, to put that information on one side, and then on the back to put what book it was from and to properly source it. And so then when they put their paper together, they have all these cards and they know where the information came from. So number 3 is the index card. So there you have it. Those are my 3 favorite items: the crate, the whiteboard, and index cards. What are your favorites? You need to tell me below. Thank you so much for joining us today. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Join our group at thehomeeducatedmind.com. And importantly, share your thoughts. Like I said, tell me, what are your favorite items? And if you have anything that you would like me to make a video on, or something you're curious about, please let me know. And subscribe so that each time we make each time we make new content, you can be notified immediately. Thanks again, and remember, yes, you can homeschool.
These are a few favorite things.
These are a few of my favorite things.